Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So guys, in today's video I bring a video of a white woman with a biracial kid explaining how it's possible for a half white half black child or biracial kid to be racist if you don't educate them well. Let's get into the video.
I'm gonna need y'all white parents of biracial kids to listen in real quick. I'm gonna give you fair warning, this might be an uncomfortable conversation, but it's necessary. A lot of y'all's kids have complexes and identity issues, and it's not because they have a white parent. It's because a lot of y'all chose to have biracial kids before you unpacked your internalized racism and anti-blackness. It's because a lot of y'all have biracial children without learning enough about the black experience to guide your child through a black experience. To guide them through a world that is inherently anti-black. Cutting off your racist family members is not all it takes to raise a biracial kid. In fact, that doesn't even come close to the bare minimum. You can have the best intentions for your children while still causing them collective harm. And I first noticed this when my daughter was an infant and I started joining Facebook groups for parents of biracial kids. These white moms would have the best intentions, yet end up on Facebook crying about how their child was saying they didn't want to be black and they hated being black. And because these parents did not take the time to educate themselves whatsoever on systemic racism and anti-blackness on a level that they would be able to appropriately raise a biracial child, they were on the internet crying for help instead of helping their kid. You cannot shield your child from experiencing anti-blackness in the world, but you can equip them to deal with it. I get told pretty frequently that my daughter will be mistaken for a black mom biracial. Now I'm going to explain to you why. First and foremost, she is not raised in an anti-black environment. A lot of black men, white women relationships are inherently anti-black, due to the fact that the relationship is based on fetishization and the hatred of black women instead of mutual love. The way that I look at it, the world is constantly going to be hurling anti-blackness at my child. And instead of acting like it does not exist, I have been equipping my child since birth to be able to handle said anti-blackness through radical self-love and positive identity. My child has at a young age told me that she wanted to be white to match her family. Right then and there, we had a very long conversation about anti-blackness and racism at 4 years old, and how her blackness was the most beautiful part of her. She made a comment one time about her baby doll, her black baby with coily hair, being ugly. Again, we had a long discussion about colorism, texturism, and racism. After that day, that baby did not leave her hip. You cannot just be not teaching your kid to be anti-black. You have to be preparing them for an anti-black world. You have to ensure that you are not feeding your child a complex towards other black people, that you're showing them how to cherish and uplift their community. See, biracial kids with white parents can be raised to be pro-black, but many aren't. And that is because their environment and their role models are not pro-black. If you don't want your child to have identity issues, it starts with you. It is wholeheartedly possible for you to educate yourself. A lot of y'all simply choose not to. Do better.
Okay, so when she posted this video on TikTok, guys, people responded to this video with their own opinions, guys. So if you have a friend, a buddy with a biracial kid, make sure you will share this video with them. They're gonna learn so much from this video. So let's just get into the stitches, and I'm gonna leave my own 2 cents. I'm gonna add to this video at the end of the video. So let's get into the stitches.
I'm gonna give you fair warning, this might be...
Alright, so I was tagged by the creator in this video. Her and I are mutuals. I absolutely love her content. If you don't follow her already, please go follow her now. Now, I didn't respond to this video right away. She did a hell of a job. There was nothing for me to say. But if you go to the comments section, she pissed a lot of people off with the truth, which is what happens. So I'm going to say this to all the people who look like me, feelings got hurt, especially the women of biracial kids. My daughter is 21 years old. She just turned 21 this March. She's black. And I just started my anti-racist journey 20 years ago. My daughter's 21. My journey began 20 years ago. And that means I was racist when I got with her father. When I gave birth to my black daughter, I had not worked through any internalized racism. I didn't know I had internalized racism. I thought I wasn't racist because I wasn't as bad as my family. I didn't use racial slurs. I didn't, in my mind, judge people based on the color of their skin. And so I saw a Jane Elliott video and realized, like, I'm racist. I'm racist, married to a black man with a black child, and I'm racist. I'm really sick and tired of white women thinking that because you are with a black man or because you have a black child, that somehow erases any possibility of you being racist, having internalized bias. We are indoctrinated in this country to be racist from birth. If you are a white American and you are not working on your internalized racism and you're not decolonizing your mind and you are not working on yourself, educating yourself, reading, having conversations, watching documentaries, learning all the shit that was hid from us, unfucking your mind by all the lies that we were told, you're racist. Now, you might not be with a robe and hood racist, but you're racist. Racism varies. It's like on a spectrum. And there's a million different ways to be racist too. Me, I realized I had a lot of microaggressions and macroaggressions. I realized that in my mind, I believed a whole lot of stereotypes, especially about black women. I could not understand for the life of me why they hated white women so much. Like, I never did shit to them until I started learning about like the medical apartheid that took place in America. The brutality that black women have gone through. I mean, brutality is an understatement. The United Daughters of the Confederacy. White women being detrimental, specifically and especially to their black men for centuries, to their children, to them for centuries. White women have played a diabolical role, vicious, in this nation against black people from the onset. Still to this day, we call them Karens today, and Kens, or Brad. I think I heard Brad too. If we are going to get anywhere, if we are going to get any better as a society, and I'm talking about us, this is me, everything I'm saying is to people who look like me. If we're going to get any better, if we're going to heal, if we're going to move forward, if we are going to be able to finally move past racism and get to whatever the next phase of humanity is going to look like, we have to be honest. So until you can honestly look yourself in the face, in the mirror or whatever, and say, you know what, shit, I'm racist. I have issues I got to work on. Like, everyone knows you cannot address a problem until you admit the problem first. A lot of us, our problem is, I'm racist and I got to work on it. But you don't want to say that because you know racism is bad. You don't want to be judged. You don't want this, that, and the third. Until you address the problem, it is not going to go away. Until you start to educate yourself, you are not going to get any better. Don't look to the black community to do it for you. Don't just come on TikTok. Even like the creators like me and my mutual here and people who do this type of work, we work hard at our content. We read a lot. We watch a lot of documentaries. We have conversations. We educate ourselves. We do research. We put a lot into this because we want to educate other people. But you still have to educate yourself. You still have to read books. You still have to bring it upon yourself to do better for you. Getting mad and cussing this creator out and telling her she's wrong or what? No, she's not. She's absolutely on point. If she was wrong, you wouldn't be mad. You wouldn't feel attacked. You know she's right. We got to do better. Bottom line, we got to get honest, brutally, painfully fucking honest, and then do better. But ain't shit gonna happen until we can get honest first.
Real quick. I'm going to give you fair warning.
I had to add on. I want you to go to Creole Italian's post, watch it in its entirety. That post was so thought-provoking. It will be, you need to go check it out. I had to tack on to the end of that because her post is all about having a biracial child and teaching your biracial child to love themselves and to love, Black people because they are Black. And it talks about the importance of preparing them to be able to move forward in this bigoted, racist world. But this post right here is to add another perspective to it. As you all know, that I am the mother of a biracial child. My ex-husband is Cuban American. My daughter is extremely fair-skinned and has always been her entire life. And I had to tell you guys about an incident that happened in the grocery store when she was like a month old. We were doing the grocery shopping and she was in her stroller. And this woman who was Caucasian approached us, and she looked in the stroller and she said, "Oh my God, she is just so beautiful. How long are you keeping her?" You know, when she asked me how long I was keeping her, I wanted to haul off and knock all her teeth out of her mouth. But of course, I didn't do that. I said to her, what do you mean how long I'm going to keep her? And she said, "Well, you're her sitter or her nanny, right?" And let me tell you something. You talking about enraged, but I tried to laugh it off. And I said something like, "No, I'm not her nanny. This is my child. And I'm most likely keeping her for like 21 years. But the way the economy is going, I'll probably have her for 25. And she said, I wanted to take that stroller and I wanted to knock her down with it and roll it over her face a few times. So that was ignorant. But I wanted to tell you guys that story, but I'm going to loop it back to Miss Creole Italian's post. If you are the parent of a biracial child, teach them to love themselves. And you know what? If they are mixed with African American, teach them to love their people. And put some people in their life that's like them. And walk the hell away from racist family members, because you are going to hurt your child if you don't. And one more thing, reach out and learn their history so that you can be the best parent you can be.
Warning, this might.
All right, buckle up, Buttercup, because I've got a little something to say about all of this, or a lot of something to say, but here we are. So I love the energy behind her entire video, everything she's going on about, white mamas raising biracial kids and how a lot of white moms are not prepared for doing that. And like I said, I understand, respect the energy behind that. Except there are a lot of points that she hit on that she's kind of not quite understanding. She's getting wrong. Even now, even in the best of intentions in her video, she's still getting wrong. You see, biracial babies, we're always going to have a complex, regardless of what you as white mamas try to do. Now, me, myself, I was not raised by a white anything in my life. I was raised by an entire black family from birth or whatever up until I moved out at 18, got married, did stupid shit. So besides that, at the end of the day, biracials are going to have a complex about our identity because it's not what's going on within our families necessarily, although that does play a role in it. It's also what's going on out there outside in our communities and how our communities perceive us. So regardless of what our families are trying to teach us, our communities are still going to shit on us. That's where our complex comes from. So the fact that she thinks that it's all about the white mamas, fucking shit up, like she's already fucked it up with that mentality. But now another one and I've watched that video a couple of times, that one and a stitched version of it, but there's a point that came to me that really irks me about it. And it's relatively sexist. It's the fact that the onus is still put on white mamas of biracial kids. And I'm trying to figure out why. Like, why aren't we saying anything about black mamas of biracial kids? Although conversations still kind of happen around that a lot better than white mamas. But it's not the color aspect. It's the sex. It's the role. It's mom versus dad. Why aren't the black daddies stepping in and doing their jobs to teach us biracial kids how to be black, how to move within our community, stuff like that? I didn't get that from my family, and I was raised in a black household. But the onus is constantly put on these white mamas of biracials, and quite frankly, I'm sick of seeing it. So this woman, honestly, she missed the mark with that one too by putting the onus on the moms in general. Go figure.
Okay, so just to add on this video, let's say you're one of those parents who are like, but my kids don't have issues with having a black dad or a white mom. Just because these kids do not bring up those issues to you as parents doesn't mean they aren't experiencing, those issues. Oftentimes, biracial kids do not feel their white parents are the safe places for them to vocalize their experiences of being minimized, being gaslight, met with no empathy or understanding, etc. They will often go to a person of color to vocalize their issues, who they will feel will understand them and support them through what they're experiencing. So this is just like, many young girls who will not go to their fathers with issues regarding menstruation, puberty, etc., unless absolute necessary or having a very understanding and supporting dad. So guys, that's what I had for you guys in today's video. Please leave your own 2 cents in the comment section below, and subscribe if you have not subscribed to this channel, and I will definitely see you in my next video. Peace.